Did Zhang Linghe's Wang Churan talk really bring Tian Xiwei back into the spotlight? Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. There's one question that has become increasingly difficult to ignore. When Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan once again became the center of attention, why did Tian Xiwei's name suddenly return to the conversation? Why is it that whenever Zhang Linghe becomes the subject of discussions about his chemistry with a female co-star, some fans immediately bring up one particular story from the past? Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei. LingXi. A pairing that once captured the hearts of so many viewers through their chemistry in Pursuit of Jade. And now, as Zhang Linghe once again attracts attention alongside Wang Churan, Tian Xiwei's name is being heard again throughout the fandom. Is it just a coincidence? Is it nostalgia? Or is it simply because fans still haven't forgotten the chemistry they once saw between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei? That is the experiment we're exploring today. Because perhaps the most surprising part isn't what Zhang Linghe said. It's what fans did afterward. Everything started with the growing attention surrounding Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan. The two became a major topic of discussion following promotional activities for this moment, this heat. On July 22, Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan interacted on Weibo while portraying their drama characters. On the surface, it seems simple. A promotional interaction. Two actors. Two characters. And a drama being introduced to viewers. But the world of fandom is rarely that simple. One interaction can turn into thousands of comments. One sentence can make fans remember an old scene. And one name can bring an entire story back to life. During the interaction, Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan communicated through their drama characters. Zhang wrote to Wang Churan's character, Sushu. Su, it's been 3 years. I'm glad you came back. The line was clearly delivered within the context of their drama characters. It was not a personal confession. It was not a statement about their real-life relationship. And yet, for viewers following their story, an interaction like this was enough to spark curiosity. Their chemistry became a topic again. Fans started comparing. And then, something unexpected happened. Tian Xiwei's name came back. Wait. Why Tian Xiwei? This is where the fandom experiment becomes interesting. In early July, discussions surrounding Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan also grew after rumors and public comments about the possibility of the two being romantically involved. But as those discussions became louder, part of the online conversation suddenly brought another name into the picture. Tian Xiwei. For some LingXi fans, seeing her name appear again wasn't surprising. Because whenever Zhang Linghe is discussed in the context of chemistry with another actress, some viewers automatically remember Tian Xiwei. Not because Zhang Linghe said something about Tian. Not because there was some secret confession. And not because there is evidence that Zhang was sending a hidden message. But because the audience's memory of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei's chemistry remains incredibly strong. And that leads to a much bigger question. Can an on-screen pairing become so memorable that the name of one actress continues to return even when the actor is being discussed alongside someone else? Imagine this situation. Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan are the topic. Fans are discussing their drama. Fans are discussing their chemistry. Fans are discussing their promotional interactions. And then suddenly, Tian Xiwei appears in the comments. Not because she was there. Not because she participated in the conversation. But because the fans themselves brought her back. And for the LingXi fandom, that feels like a small alarm. Almost as if a part of the past never completely disappeared. Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei. Two names. One drama. And a chemistry that, for many viewers, felt incredibly natural. Of course, we need to pause here for an important distinction. There is currently no verified evidence that Zhang Linghe directly mentioned Tian Xiwei during his interaction with Wang Churan. There is no sufficient basis to claim that Zhang Linghe was secretly talking about Tian. So we shouldn't turn speculation into fact. What is actually interesting is not Zhang mentioned Tian. because there is no verified evidence of that. What's interesting is, the fans mention Tian. And those are two completely different things. One comes from the actor. The other comes from the audience's interpretation. That difference matters. Because when a fandom feels strongly about a particular pairing, every new interaction can bring old memories rushing back. And perhaps, that is exactly what is happening with LingXi. When people see Zhang Linghe with Wang Churan, they don't only see a new pairing. Some of them also remember the pairing that once left such a strong impression on them. Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei. Not because their relationship in real life has been confirmed. Not because their private lives should be interpreted through their dramas. But because the chemistry they created on screen became memorable. Pursuit of Jade may have ended. But for fans, a drama doesn't always truly end when the final episode finishes. Sometimes, the drama ends on the screen. But it continues living in the audience's memories. The scenes are still shared. The photos are still edited. The short clips continue to appear. And whenever one of the actors takes on a new project, fans remember the old pairing all over again. That is the power of an on-screen pairing. It doesn't mean the relationship is real. It doesn't mean the two actors are romantically involved in real life. But the chemistry they created on screen can leave a lasting impression. And Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei clearly have a strong history from the perspective of their fandom. That is why, whenever Zhang Linghe becomes the center of attention alongside another actress, the reaction involving Tian Xiwei becomes something worth observing. Perhaps that is the real experiment. Don't just look at what Zhang says. Look at what the fandom does. When Wang Churan's name appears, Tian Xiwei's name appears too. When new chemistry is discussed, old chemistry is compared again. When Zhang Linghe gets attention, fans reopen the LingXi archives. And when a new pairing starts trending, some fans start asking about the old one. Why? Because fandom isn't only about the latest news. It's also about memory. It's about the feeling people had when they first saw two actors sharing the screen. It's about the scenes that made viewers smile. The moments that were turned into edits. The lines that fans continued remembering long after the drama ended. And perhaps that is why Tian Xiwei keeps returning to the conversation. Not because she is actually there, but because the memory of her is still there. And then comes an even more interesting question. Does the return of Tian Xiwei's name really show that LingXi is still powerful among viewers? Or is this simply nostalgia from a portion of the fandom? We can't determine that from a handful of comments. Fandom comments are not proof of a relationship. Chemistry comparisons are not proof of a real-life romance. And the appearance of someone's name in an online discussion does not mean that person is sending a hidden message. But from a content trend perspective, this phenomenon is extremely interesting. Because the tension between an old pairing and a new pairing almost always creates curiosity. Fans want to know who looks more compatible. They want to know which chemistry feels more natural. They want to know whether Zhang Linghe still remembers his Pursuit of Jade era. And most importantly, they want to know whether LingXi is truly over. Or simply waiting for one small moment to become popular again. Imagine if one day Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei appeared together at the same event again. There wouldn't need to be a confession. There wouldn't need to be a romantic statement. There wouldn't even need to be a major interaction. Just one glance. One smile. One simple sentence. And maybe the fandom would do exactly what it did before. Analyze. Compare. Create edits. Create theories. And bring LingXi back to life. But for now, we have to stay with what we actually know. Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan did interact as part of their drama promotion. Fans did discuss their chemistry. Tian Xiwei's name did return in some online discussions. But there is no verified evidence that Zhang Linghe mentioned Tian Xiwei during that interaction. So, don't treat this as a secret confession. Treat it as a fandom experiment. A simple experiment. If Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan become the subject of conversation, will Tian Xiwei's name appear again? And if it does, why? Is it because fans still miss LingXi? Is it because Pursuit of Jade left behind a chemistry that is difficult to forget? Or because, for some viewers, Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei remain a special on-screen pairing? Maybe we don't have the answer right now. And perhaps that is exactly what makes the story so fascinating. Because sometimes, a fandom doesn't need a major confession to bring an old story back to life. All it takes is one name, one memory, one new interaction, and everything can begin again. So now, I want to hear from you. When Zhang Linghe and Wang Churan became the center of discussion, did you also immediately think of Tian Xiwei? Do you think this shows that LingXi's chemistry is still strong in the eyes of viewers? Or do you think fans are simply feeling nostalgic about Pursuit of Jade? And if Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei ever work together again, do you think the LingXi fandom would explode once more? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, let's separate facts from hopes. Let's separate what actually happened from what we wish would happen. Because maybe the story of Zhang Linghe, Tian Xiwei, and LingXi isn't really over. Or maybe the story simply continues to live inside the memories of the fans. And for now, that question alone is enough to keep us wondering. Until the next video. And stay tuned for more updates about Zhang Linghe, Tian Xiwei, and the CDrama world you love. Bye, everyone.